Kenda.
Good
Welcome.
morning. Well, morning for me,
For you.
afternoon for
We
you
are
guys.
your Baltimore time, aren't you, girlfriends? And that's
Yes.
10:30 a.m. for you. And I don't even know, is it 2, 3? What time is it here? 3:30 in the afternoon in the UK.
Yes.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. So please share with us who Kenda is. We had a lovely chat and it was very inspiring about, where you've come from, what you've had to go through yourself personally. And yeah,
Yes.
just share, please, Kenda.
Okay. Well, first of all, Shan, thank you so much for having me. Everyone here, I know that you have listened to some great speakers, so I appreciate you hanging out to listen to me. So first of all, I want to tell you thank you. Um, my life is extraordinary, but it's also not as extraordinary as you might think. A lot of women have gone through challenges of trying to figure out who they are. As soon as we come out, we're kind of looking around for cues, even as a baby. And I was a young girl born in the US to two parents, working class family, not a whole lot of money, but we weren't poor, weren't broke, just living our lives. And I was always an artsy person. I got pregnant in college. So pregnant in college, kept my baby and still kept pushing through. But as I began to become a mother, I became more focused on survival. And the dad and I, I'm over it now, but at 21 and a baby, we weren't ready. But for those 10, 20 years to raise that child and come forth, we had a lot of challenges and a lot of struggles. By the time I finished raising him, I had lost a lot. I had been laid off several times because once again, I'm chasing the idea of I have to be this responsible adult, and of course, I was raised in a faith-based home. So of course, with church, not having a baby was frowned upon, but it is what it is. We value life first. But I became very focused on living my life for my son and building out and doing and working. But my health was secretly deteriorating due to stress. And I've always been slim. I eat pretty healthy. So when I was diagnosed with breast cancer at 47, I was very shocked because it doesn't run in my family. And so that was when I really started thinking about what are the fruits, the spirit, really, for me. Like what is the faith of a mustard seed? What does that really mean when you're told that you have something that can kill you amongst life? And I didn't mention I've been stuttering since age 5. So if you see me being animated or really talking loud, that's because I'm opening up my voice to speak because I have something to say. So that's just a little tidbit. Hope that was good enough.
I love that. And you're showing up and you're speaking and you found your voice, which is so incredible. And for you, talk us through, I mean, that anybody that goes through, yes, faith, yes, you've shared that stuttering and how, that would have impacted you then. You've learned powerfully to really overcome that with faith. And then, you're at a level in your life where then you have breast cancer. So these are all powerful moments that you've gone through, and you say about the mustard seed, what truly is all of that about? And it's then you question, don't you? You question your faith, you question your belief, particularly when when we feel vulnerable. And you then going, and there's a knowing of wanting more in life and knowing that you're here for way, way more. So what then, why am I experiencing what I'm experiencing? Right. So share that part of then when you really took control and you went through that powerfully. And yeah, we all know right now we can see you're shining, you're in alignment, you're in your space, powerfully, creatively, and vocally. But I mean, that took a lot,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're telling me. And so, yes, exactly. So at 47, when I was diagnosed with breast cancer, I had been laid, I had by that time had been laid off for like the third time. So what I like to call now, I had the Jonah anointing. And we all know how when Jonah was not where he was supposed to be, not doing what he was supposed to do, there was a little bit of chaos that followed him, right? His last trek was on the boat. The boat started shaking and tossing. He tossed off and in the belly of the whale. And so the breast cancer, I feel, was my belly of the whale like experience, because I had been laid off for the umpteenth time. I had to move back home with my mother. And so I began to ask, how did I create this? One of my good friends, because I was very sad, she says, Kenda, she said, I know you're upset and you're scared. This is not something you were looking for. You eat pretty healthy, you exercise, and, so this is like, really, I want you to ask it, what do you want me to pay attention to? And she said, I think you need to pay attention to yourself. And I was like, okay, right. But it's true. And so the spiritual healing had to begin for my physical body to do. I had to pay attention to myself. What I had to pay attention to? Myself. I had to decide and really like accept that I'm not taking very good care of myself. And that's where that tumor came from. I cannot tell you based upon my genes where it came from. So it was an attention, I could say, from years of taking birth control pills, but I had stopped taking them many years ago. So it's really, when you think about a tumor next to, it was in my left breast, which is next to what? My heart. So this tumor was growing, I feel, because of issues of the heart. And we know what the word says about what comes from the heart. So I have this tumor that is growing, trying to shield my heart based upon the different disappointments. And I could point to different men I've dated or my finances and all these different things. But at the end and the beginning of it, I have to take care of myself. And praying is really great. But what other steps? How am I demonstrating my faith? Because faith without works is dead. So if I'm going to church and I'm praying, I'm doing my Daniel fast and I'm being an honorable person to everyone else, am I being an honorable person to myself? Meaning paying attention, getting rest, eating properly, and letting go. A lot of the worrying, we worry a lot, and we're not supposed to worry, but we do. We're human. And one of the things that I had to realize was that while I'm like, yes, I got it. I'm a superwoman. I'm doing this thing. I'm raising my son and blah, blah, blah. But I'm still worried about bills. I'm worried about these different things. And that's false praying. Worrying is a form of praying as well, right? and it drains on your joy. Just straight up. And joy is the engine for success, period. So if I'm saying, okay, the tumor was like, hey, look at yourself. And I began to start looking at a lot of the stories that I was telling myself. And a lot of times we think that we're very positive, and most of us are. We have a pretty good balanced outlook of things, but we're always building it on what's already happened. And I'm not saying we shouldn't learn from our lessons, but are we carrying the pain of the lesson? Are we yet brave enough to say that what I learned from this, and taking accountability for creating it? I can say my job stressed me out. I can say my son's father didn't do what he was supposed to do. And all these different things. My mom was super strict, and that's why I'm rebelled, and that's why I smoked in high school. And, but at 47, I'm an adult, and I can decide what my life is going to look like. And I can start taking steps on that day by day. I don't have to fix everything today, but I have to be committed to changing it each day. And joy helps me. And being ethically selfish. I have a journal that is called the Ethical Selfishness Journal, 12 Pathways Back to Joy. So I had to start choosing myself. And that's very scary. We can always talk about self-care. Like, oh, I'm getting my nails done, take my bubble bath, get me some wine. That's all aesthetics. Those are things you should be doing anyway, honey. You should be wearing beautiful colors that make you feel good. You should wear jewelry that is creative, if that's your style. If you like clean lines, then wear it and feel good in it. But what I'm talking about, being ethically selfish, is saying yes to you by sometimes saying no. And that's where my tumor came from, I feel. I hope that answered your question.
All the comments were absolutely in the chat are blowing
Yes,
up.
thank you. I
Come
was trying
on,
to catch up.
honestly. It's like, love this. Come on, sister. Come on. Yeah. How beautiful. You're resonating in such a powerful way, you see, showing up, and there's all that pressure, isn't there? And it's like, we do feel the worry. Absolutely. And to really heal, I know Dory put something about in there, in fact, healing, and that's true. And Dusty absolutely loves you. She's going, come on, preach, come on. So, and it's true, it is true. And you are stepping out and stepping up and stepping into faith, which is powerful. And you do. And even, isn't it funny? And I will address it, because, it's that, you have got a journal, and the journal is about being selfish. And it's almost like, oh, see, ta-da. It wouldn't be colorful, would it, everybody?
Yes, you have to have color in your life. Listen, just because I am 53. And so a lot of times as we get older, we start thinking we can't wear this color, we can't wear this. And of course, some skin tones, colors don't work. Yeah. But invite yourself. Dory, why are you laughing at me? You have, indulge yourself a little bit. Even if you don't like a bunch of colors, add some green earrings. Because we want to invite the little girl that wants to come out and play, but has been hidden for so long. We want to give some room to the fire. Okay, all right, hey. We want to give some room for the teenage self, because a lot of people talk about the wounded child. And I believe that there's a lot of work that is yet to be done with the wounded child. But I think for some women, it's really the teenage self, where we started taking everything that we learned from the adults and started testing it in the world and didn't make the right choices. And those still haunt us. And I really think that's where the joy starts getting depleted.
Yeah.
So Allow that
Definitely.
teen self to also enjoy life and let your wisdom guide her, because that's what she wanted anyway.
And I think you've said a beautiful word as well. I mean, Dory, I think Dory, we've got Dory and Dusty that's saying a lot of things. Sorry. So Dory's saying she's 65. I think that's what I read. Sorry, Dory, if I got that wrong. But it's like, come on, amen. You know, Dory's all, beautiful.
Yes,
She's
she's
got a lovely
dolled up, got her
husband and
jewelry
she's
on.
a girl, she's
Yes.
a girlfriend. She's like, come on, she's stepping in, right? And then and I get where Dusty's like, there's a struggle going on with Dusty right now, and she's like, come on, I need to hear this. I need to hear what you have to say, because this is going to help me and empower me to be who I need to be, for the strength of who I am and the sister that I am right now, to move forward. And not only impact, we know that Dusty's got a family already, and to impact her family and to make sure that she can step out. And I just love that. And yes, healing is huge. And what the biggest word I took there from you actually is allow. Allow the life in bling. I like the bling. Sorry, my eyes. Oh yeah. Dory's a drummer chick as well. So yeah, watch out, watch out. There's more to come from
Okay.
Dory. I know that. Oh yeah.
That's, oh, I'm sorry. Go continue. I didn't mean to cut you off. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. We're getting excited and it's beautiful. But I think the words allow, we are allowed the freedom, you know, yes, we know the negatives, we know the Bible, we know scripture, we know who we actually are, which is powerful, and we are blessed every single day and grateful. And to step out into more voice, literally step out, step up, and step in, because we're allowed. We are allowed, and we choose powerfully. And when you powerfully choose, we get Kenda. I
Yeah,
love it.
I,
We get,
thank you.
yeah, and we get Kenda's selfish journal that has to only be very highly colorful, which is beautiful, but that's here to serve, and to serve others powerfully, and to serve, for me, the sisters, hugely.
Yes, most definitely. And if I can like add, is that when we talk about whether you are a coach, you're an like aspiring coach, you're a mom, you're a wife, or you're a single woman, you are entitled to live your dream today. Period. You are allowed to do that. And a
Yeah.
lot of times we hide behind the I can't. And it's usually hinged on other people. And one of the things that I have learned is that a lot of the different things that I didn't do, I hid behind my son. I'm a mom, I can't do that. I have to watch my son. I have to, I can't. Well, and deep down, I really could, but I was afraid because of the disappointments that I may have faced prior to that. um our partnerships, a lot of times we marry or date people that reflect aspects of us that we might not like. The very thing that irritated me about the different people that I had been involved with over the years, not that I was out there, but I didn't get married until 49. That's a whole nother thing for the first time at 49. So if you're still single, or and you're open to relating with someone in a healthy way, there are people still available out there. But one of the things that I chose to do was that I'm going to choose someone, because this was after my breast cancer. Okay, so I'm really rearranging my life. The person I was seeing, I dumped him because he was not in alignment. He just was not. That was the first big chop. And then I began to evaluate my choices, but not from a place of blame and shame, but more from, okay, I chose this path, I did this thing. It didn't feel good. I'm not there now physically. So what emotionally am I still carrying? with me in year after year? And is it serving me? And we know we're supposed to have new days every morning. Every morning it should be like a reset. And of course it's in the word, it feels all good, but when we're going through the motions, the new day feels long and far away. But we have to start by just one day choosing ourselves in small ways. And also understanding that sometimes we use being a victim as a way to cop out too, because we like to be able to weaponize no. There's some people that like to weaponize no. We like to say yes and yes and yes to ensure that they're paying on a premium for, so when we call our card in, they better say yes. Because if they don't say yes after all the time that I've done this and done this and done this, how dare they? And when that person has the audacity to say no, you. When we were disingenuous by saying yes so many times, we have to be honest with ourselves.
Amen.
And that's a big one that I'm still working on, by the way.
Yeah, and that is very human, isn't it? That's so human, and that can be very powerful, and powerful against your own self, to even have that insight to look at yourself and go, what am I doing? What is that? You know, is it integrity? No. Is it in alignment with you? No. Is it from the heart? Not really. It's a mind game, isn't it? And I think there's a power there. And I know you talk a lot about joy, which we're going to get onto in a minute, but you know, it's taking that head and, you know, that all that, the mind games, you know, and placing it right into your heart, you know.
Yes.
And a big part for you is joy, isn't it?
Yes, yes, yes. And joy, what I would say, a lot of people confuse joy and happiness. And I used to do it too. So my joy, I have like a whole little system where I don't know if you can really see it, but I have joy, but and I'll send something, but as you can see, there are different aspects of joy. Well, my camera is the opposite way, so forgive me. But I broke down 12 different aspects of joy, because happiness is usually hinged on things that we can physically touch. If you ask someone what makes them happy, and they'll say walks in the park, my favorite blanket, you know, or these different objects usually. But then when I say what brings you joy, they're kind of like, well, I just told you. And I'm like, no, joy is more of an inside job. It's the part of us that no matter what is going on, we can pull in that engine for success. Like I said, joy is the engine for success to get us through the chaotic times when we're not our happiest, when we don't feel as beautiful. You know, we're having a hard time to laugh. We're feeling not peaceful. Joy is something that you pull from internally, your lessons, the different things that you are choosing to give you peace. You know, and I think that that's something that we have to work with every day, because every day we're not going to be happy. I tell people, if you're looking at me to be every 24/7, maybe 16/5, right? And that's on a good day. But we cannot give people the idea that you have to be happy all the time. You can have joy in adversity, because I know that this is only something that is strengthening me. This is building me. This is growing me. I'm on the threshold of something great. You know, when we talk about the breaking of the perfume bottle and the sweet essence that came out, you know, it was the breaking of the essence of the perfume that was healing. We could have just said, they could have just said, oh, we broke. this beautiful canister is broken. The perfume and the essence is out. Or we could just say, okay, it's broken, but we can fix it. But this is a healing scent. Let's be in the moment. We can take what we have. A lot of people say you take lemons and make them into lemonade. That's part of it. You can also take those lemon seeds and plant a whole new tree.
Yeah.
That's what I'm doing. I'm taking whatever story that you have gone through and grown through. There's a journal that can be written to heal other people. There is a speaking opportunity where you can speak to someone and change their lives with one talk. So the mustard seed, and I will talk about that later. The mustard seed keeps me going.
Yeah, because you bring that in so much. And your freebie gift is just so powerful, isn't it? A free joy assessment. So
yes,
talk about that, because that is powerful.
Okay, so what I do with my clients is I offer them some different packages. I do 30 days. Some people don't want to do, I like to do at least 90 days or 8 weeks, because it takes you about 45 days to really change your pattern. 30 days, you can really start seeing okay, I can identify now what I'm doing. I can identify my pattern. 45 days, you really start making traction. 90 days, you're really on the roll. But before I take anyone on as a client, I give them what I call a joy assessment. And I just ask you a series of questions. They're not trick questions, but they are at the same time, because I want you to start thinking about you. I ask you questions, and then we get on a call, and then we go over your answers, and we start figuring out if there's any places where joy is maybe not where you want it to be. It could be something as simple as learning to laugh more. Like, when was the last time that you heartily laughed? It could be something much larger, like abundance. Like, where are you not feeling like abundant? Of course, we talk about money, but usually the abundance, lack of it in the finances or the physical realm, began somewhere in here or here. And I help people to kind of see that so they can balance that out.
Yeah.
And I've had great success. People have really enjoyed getting that done, to figure out, okay, here's like a roadmap. I hadn't really think about that, because I'll give you a quick tip. I ask people, maybe on the second or third question, list what or who is most important to you right now. The majority of the people put either their children first is their number one thing. And then they may list themselves last. Some people don't even list themselves at all. And that's the problem.
Yeah. And I think that's the heartbreak, isn't it? That's the heartbreak that comes in, because God does not want us to be last on the list. Not at all.
No.
He wants us to, and I will say it again, step out, step up, and step in, because that's so powerful. Kenda, we've got 1 minute. It's been an absolute blessing to have you all, to have you here. We are going to take a short break. It's only going to be for 10 minutes after Kenda. But wow, Kenda, truly just thank you for being who you are. Thank you for being colourful. Thank you. And we can all see your journey and why you offer what you do, because of what's happened and throughout your life. And it's so powerful. And when you say that everybody can have a journal based on what they've gone through, but the biggest thing and the whole reason we are here is to enable the difference in how we can help others and how we can serve them. So from every journal that we would do and that you have already done, that can help somebody else. And we know, even if it's one person, 10 people, millions, that's what we want to do, because that's what we're here to do. It's
The
been an
mustard seed.
absolute, honestly, right? And it's been a blessing. Guys, if you want, I mean, for VIP, if you've missed any, you know, if you want to really, yes, we're here, and yes, then it's, you know, it's we capture everybody and then they go, and it's like, oh, I might have missed this, or I might have missed that. It's really great to have the recordings. I know we offer the VIP that Kaiser will put in the chat. We're going to just do a quick 10-minute break. I'll nip off and go to the loo, have a restroom, refreshments, and we're back. Give it 10 minutes, and yeah, don't miss the VIP if you do want that, because it's always so powerful, not only to re-listen to the powerful stories and the top tips and the golden nuggets that we've heard already, but also to get the links for their freebies. That's always so powerful too. So I'll see you back in about 10 minutes. Huge love.
Thank
Hope you've enjoyed
you.
it. God bless. See you in 10.